Buongiorno, everyone. Buongiorno, bonjour, hola, and hello. I love all of my Roman Latin sublanguages, whether they're English, German, Spanish, French, Greek, Italian, Portuguese, Dutch, it doesn't matter. Okay, now, with that said, um, yes. So, it's a lot of people don't know this, but I was in the army. And during that time, this was a long time ago, I was stationed in what I call my Central Europa. I call it my Central Europa West Fatherland. I was, and I'm not talking about the country Germany. I'm talking about the Central West of Europa. I don't do nationalism and nationality and culture and community by nationalism and nationality. I don't do any of that. Okay. I just do race, face, mirror based ancestry and history. That's it. So I was in the military, and to make a long story short, I was 19 years old, and I was introduced to a 26-year-old female from Mannheim, Germany, who went by the name of Ina. So her first name was Martina, and she went by Ina. She was from a small village town inside of central West Germany. And long story short, after my fellow GI buddy introduced us, because she was friends with his girlfriend, we hung out. And this is when I had a massively sized room inside of an old World War II barrack in Mannheim, Germany. And this is 1991, I believe. So this is like 31 years ago. So a few days had passed after we hung out at, you know, and I get a call on the phone from her. And she says to me, I want to take you to Paris with me. I will pay for everything. 4 nights and 5 days in the village of Saint Georges in what is a four-star hotel right next to and within walking distance of Saint Michel de Notre Dame, where Napoleon Bonaparte enthroned himself the Emperor of France down the nave of that very cathedral in front of Pope Pius VI. Do you accept my offer? I, of course, said yes. So I went with Ina. She picked me up. She drove us to Frankfurt, and we got out of her car and we got on what's called the OEG train, and we went from Frankfurt to Paris in 3 hours flat. So we spent 4 nights and 5 days there. She spent over 20 to 25,000 francs on me and us that entire week. So one morning we woke up. She says, I have the most spectacular day lined up just for you. So it's the morning time. And she takes me to our Napoleon Bonaparte, my Napoleon Bonaparte's coffin. That was fantastic. Then she took me to Saint Michel de Notre Dame, and she asked that I walk down the nave where Bonaparte enthroned himself the Emperor of France. I told her that The Hunchback of Notre Dame was one of my favorite movies when I was the Roman Prince of DC, and she took me to the bell tower of the movie, or of the cathedral rather, and I got to ring the bell. She then took photos of me on the very balcony of uh, gargoyles, on the balcony of the gargoyles, on the side of the buttresses, on the side of the buttresses. Then she takes me to the Saint Croix church, the all white edifice. I believe that means the Sacred Heart Church. And then she has me get in a cab and says, I saved the best for last. I said, okay. Well, no, she didn't say that. That's not true. She said, I have something extra special for you. Something like that. I'm paraphrasing. It's been 31 years, you know. I'm doing my best here. So I get in the cab with Ina. You know, I'm 19. I'm with this 26-year-old female who's 5'11", works as an assistant to a so-called psychiatrist out of this small village town in Germany, nearby Mannheim. And I get in the cab, and we pull up in front of a flower shop. And I'm like, okay. And we go inside, and she picks up a bouquet along with a flower pot with a flower in it. And she says, here, hold this. I said, okay, where are we going? She says, we're going right next door. We're stepping inside of Pierre Lachaise. I said, and she says, you've never heard of Pierre Lachaise? I said, no. She says, this is a very historic, legendary cemetery with many legends in here. I said, really? But wait, it gets better. So I walk in behind her, and I see written on various like slabs of stone and, you know, walls, Jim this way. And I didn't think anything of it. Jim that way. I'm like, okay. She didn't tell me. And then we get there, and she says, go ahead. I did this for you. Put the bouquet on top of his grave and place the flower pot right next to his epitaph. I said, Ina, where the hell are we? She said, read the epitaph. I said, okay. She said, what does it say? I said, James Douglas Morrison. And I stopped. I said, wait a minute. Are you trying to tell me this is Jim Morrison of the Doors in his grave? She said, yes. She said, I did that for you. I said, wow. There I was, staring at Jim Morrison's grave in the Pierre Lachaise Cemetery in the heart of downtown central Paris. People were staring at me all over the place. The entire 4 nights and 5 days we were there, didn't matter if we went to a restaurant. It didn't matter what type of business or venue we went to. Everyone there would speak to me in French instead of English, and had assumed that I was from there. She had to tell them multiple times, he is from the U.S. He was born in the U.S. He is a member of the U.S. Army here because of me. So it happened so much that she got pissed and argued with me in front of people in public, because she got pissed off and said, why do they keep talking to you in French? Why you? Why are tourists asking you for directions in French and they are ignoring me? All true. But you know what? On that note, Ina, wherever you are, I love you, and I'll never forget what you did for me. ever.